The David Pakman Show at davidpakman.com.
Welcome to the David Pakman Show. I'm David Pakman. You know, I was watching the CNN Tea Party Express debate, and from the very start, I would say 2 to 3 seconds in, I realized we were in for a ridiculous, propaganda-laced charade, essentially. And I'll show you what I mean, because the first few seconds were this incredible introduction video that was done around it. Now, you have to ask yourself, if you're CNN, why would you really want to do a Tea Party debate? Why associate yourself with a group that, well, do we really have to go into it? I think if anybody actually likes the Tea Party, they would just disagree with me. I'm not going to convince anyone with my opinion of why CNN, a presumably, objective journalism outlet.
If they're objective, then they have to give everyone equal time, right?
Well, but the idea that you have to align yourself with a group like the Tea Party, which is downright, we know about their racial makeup, we know about their views, we know all the stuff about the Tea Party. I don't understand why CNN would align themselves. Natan doesn't really seem to agree with me on this.
I mean, how are they aligning themselves with the Tea Party by just calling the debate the Tea Party debate?
Because they're saying, let's come together, and CNN as an organization thinks that the Tea Party is legitimate to a degree that this would be the CNN Tea Party debate. And the Tea Party as constituents should command a debate on one of the major cable networks of the United States.
Well,
and listen, if CNN believes that, that's fine, but don't say that it's just completely a center, unbiased decision to align yourselves with that group.
I mean, they're a political entity, and so why can't they just have airtime like everyone else? I mean, how is CNN aligning themselves with the Tea Party?
They're saying, here is a debate, which is the Tea Party and CNN. We are doing this together because both groups are legitimate. It's very important that CNN do a debate, and it's just as important that the Tea Party be involved in such a debate because they are arbiters in some way of the political system, the United States.
If I worked for CNN, I'd say, hey, you know what? This will probably be good for ratings. People would want to watch this.
Okay,
why not do it?
But hold on a second. If instead of the Tea Party, it was the CNN Green Party debate, right? Or not Green, actually, no, not Green Party. Let me take that back. It was the environmentalist CNN debate, right? There was an environmentalist movement that was somewhat structured, but not, and it wasn't a party per se. It was just the environmentalist movement within the Democratic Party. And they said, that's such an important thing. You know what we would be hearing from the right? Wait a second. The group that is co-sponsoring this debate believes as a point of fact that evolution is real. They believe as a point of fact that climate change is man-made when those things are all in question. This is a biased debate. By aligning themselves with that group, CNN is saying we buy into all of that. You know we would hear that.
We would, of course.
So why would we not say CNN is in some way also saying the Tea Party, the movement and its points of view are legitimate in terms of mainstream politics? I know some people agree with that. I don't.
I think they're just saying it's a trend right now that people are interested in. So we're gonna air this.
That's all you think. You don't go any further with it.
I really think it's that simple. Yeah.
Well, if you're watching or listening, you tell me what you think. David at davidpakman.com. Here's the introduction, making this into a reality show essentially of a debate. Incredible.
Tonight, 8 Republicans, one goal: to win the White House and kick Barack Obama out. Cheering them on, their powerful allies and fierce critics. The grassroots movement putting a bold stamp on this election.
Okay, first of all, not a grassroots movement, nothing grassroots about the Tea Party. So that's just not true. We know about the corporate interests astroturfing the Tea Party, right? Number one. So now we just have flat out untruth.
The Tea Party. Tonight's players:
I love America. I'll fight for America.
Mitt Romney, the early frontrunner,
Obamacare,
focused on attacking the president, now turning his attention to a more immediate opponent.
I'm going to be a pro-business president, and I'm not going to make any apologies about it.
Rick Perry, the newcomer. He got a late start, then surged to the front of the pack with a conservative voice, folksy and brash. Michelle Bachmann, the firebrand.
We're here to win.
She aced an early test in Iowa, proving she's a top-tier contender, as well as a lightning rod.
By the way, what I'm paying attention to here is that this is not something you would expect to see on CNN. This is what you would expect to see, a video from the Republican Party or from the Tea Party, more likely. Okay, talking about the importance and how the Tea Party are both the harshest critics, but also at the same time those who decide who will get in, and they wield the power. This is propaganda, ladies and gentlemen.
The rest of the field in search of a breakthrough. John Huntsman, the diplomat, carving a more moderate path to try to defeat his ex-boss, the president. Ron Paul, the libertarian, billing himself.
All right, I think we're done with this. You get the idea here. We have this is a reality show, a biased reality show.
No, it's more like a comic book adaptation where each superhero has his own label. Like
it also is
the Justice League,
the Firebrand. It's unbelievable what's going on. Does this change your view at all about this debate now that you've seen this propaganda video that they used to open it?
No, I really still think it's all about ratings.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I don't know. Let's assume it. Hold on a second. If it is all about ratings, does that excuse anything? I thought what we wanted here was journalism and to hear from candidates. If it's about ratings, then it's okay to run a Tea Party propaganda video?
CNN is a business.
Okay, go ahead, Natan.
You could argue that even if CNN is doing this just for ratings, the fact that they wouldn't do it if the same equivalent situation were on the Democratic side, like say with the example you were giving, like with the environmental party, that means that something unfair is going on, even though it's not conscious.
For sure. No, I think what is going on is conscious, which is that the default for the corporate mainstream media is that the center is actually the right. If you even give an equal playing field in this sense to some conservative group that would be just as far to the left as the Tea Party is to the right, I know the Tea Party is very, very far to the right, they would be branded as a liberal network. They're just in the tank on the liberal side. However, you have a Tea Party debate and propaganda introduction, and it's just fine. It's what it is.
Well, we don't really see any groups, at least none that pick up steam, like the Tea Party, right? On the left.
Well, but the question is, why don't they?
Happen.
Why don't they? Because the mainstream media will report on a 50-person Tea Party rally as if it's the revolution, as if it's the actual Tea Party.
Fine, and there are no corporations backing any movements like this on the left, right?
Right, corporations.
Okay,
exactly.
that's fine, but it does not change the fact that this is good TV.
Was it good TV? The
A lot of
introduction.
people, I mean, hey, we're playing it on our show.
Okay, I want to get to something from
because it fascinates people, whether you like it or whether you hate it. It fascinates people.